Hi, and welcome to the Veterans Corner. My name's Chuck Woodin, and as always, I'll be your host. We have a special guest with us today, Beth Pritchard. Beth has been with us before. This is actually a two-part show. Great. Beth is the Executive Vice President and Chief Marketing and you know, I always mess that one up. I practiced it, and I still can't get it. Philanthropy Officer.
It is a mouthful. You did a great job. Thank you.
Don't ask me to say it again. She's from the Easterseals Capital Region and Eastern Connecticut. Welcome back.
Thank you. It's great to be here, Chuck.
You know, we had such a great show the first time, and there was so much information that I'm glad you're able to come back so we can share it with the viewers. We left off, I mean, there was so much that we talked about.
We did. We covered a lot.
You know, I think now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be talking about Rally Point. It's a big thing that you guys do, and actually we do have a graphic that we can put up on the screen for the viewers. And it's actually you know, you'll see this right here on your screen. So if you can tell us about Rally Point.
All right, I'd be happy to. Thank you. First of all, Rally Point really describes our holistic approach to serving veterans, service members, and their immediate families. And just as a friendly reminder, those services are free of charge, and they are life-changing. So although we're currently providing these services in our existing facilities in Windsor, East Hartford, Norwich, and we are serving many, many veterans, we are also out in the community doing the same thing. However, Rally Point includes a build-out within our Norwich facility, and it's an internal build-out. It will provide an expansion of the services we're already providing. It's the size of this build-out is 18,000 square feet. The model is a one-stop holistic approach to providing these services. So as the viewers can see, the diagram up on the screen, we can kind of walk through what this looks like. So this 60,000 square foot building we own in Norwich, this segment here of 18,000 square feet, will have a separate entrance, so it will only be a Rally Point entrance. When people enter through the front entryway, which is denoted here by the brown flooring that you see where it says lounge. It'll be set up like a family room, social activities, a place where people can come, feel safe, not judged, really at home, away from home. Confidential, because there are medical services being provided out of here as well. But also, while they're here, there's a multiple or a whole wide array of services they can access. So for example, if you need a job, there's vocational services. If you need assistance accessing your military benefits that you've earned, there's a computer lab. We also have a VSO that will come on site on an as-scheduled basis. There is vocational, I mentioned the computer lab can also be used for training on digital living. So how to utilize the computer, how to utilize it for job searching, but also, as I mentioned, the benefit aspect. Additionally, you'll see there that there's a gym or a fitness center. That will be equipped for those with and without physical disabilities or barriers. So we could and plan to do OT out of their occupational therapy for those who need it, but also individuals can go back there and just work out, right? And it's improving the health of the individual overall. Of course, you see the men's and women's locker rooms. The workshop area, which will actually be larger than it looks, that's an area where individuals will have an opportunity to do further job skill development. Okay. So for example, we have wonderful collaborative partners in the corporate community. So having them outsource some of the work that they need done, we could manage that in the workshop space. And additionally, we will be starting up a new social enterprise business down at the Rally Point out of Norwich. And this will be an opportunity. You recall I mentioned we already have 3 of those.
Yes.
This will be a new one, and this will be featured around helping veterans and their immediate families and service members understanding the business from start to finish, right? So for those who just want to learn a new skill, they could do that, but for those who really want to understand what it means to run a business, right? Inventory, marketing, staffing, etc., there will be an opportunity for that. Now, the wonderful thing about this social enterprise business is that all of the revenues will feed right back into these free, life-changing services. Nice. So we will, it's in essence veterans helping veterans, right? And then of course there's the mental health aspect of this rally point, right? There will be group therapy, one-on-one, PTSD, marital issues. Again, we're treating the whole family unit. We fully understand that when a soldier comes home, he or she, they're transitioning back into the civilian world, but they're also transitioning back into the family. So with their significant other, there's a transition point. With the children, there's a transition point. And then between the spouse or the significant other who stayed home and the children, they became used to having a one-parent household. Now that's shifting back. So there's multiple transition points. So the mental health side of thing will be important. And also it includes a peer-to-peer, which we're already operating as well. But that's where we have other veteran service members coming in and facilitating or mentoring veterans and service members who are experiencing a variety of barriers.
And that's a great thing, because I mean, a lot of times, you know, you're only going to really listen to people that have experienced what you've experienced. And that's a great, you know, the fellow veterans coming in.
Absolutely. And as I said, we have that up and running now. So, you know, as I've said before, we've been around for 70 years. We're not new to the sandbox. We've been serving this group for a long time. But we're really here to make a significant impact because we realize the needs go unmet. Additionally, you'll see in here that there is a clothing store, as it's labeled. It's basically a professional clothing resource room. And we have that now down at our Norwich facility. So for example, if we're working with a veteran service member and or immediate family member and they're searching for a job, they can go in there. There's free clothing. Our very generous donors, our Easterseals Capital Region, Eastern Connecticut family members, if you will, have donated beautiful clothing for men and women to have access to. And it's several outfits, basically to get you started as you re-enter the workforce. And then there is a small pantry there, so that will be non-perishable items. Again, it's the whole premise here, remember, is not a handout, it's a hand up. So these are things that are hand ups as you move through the process of re-entering into the civilian world, removing barriers, and living your best life. And so again, it's a real holistic approach. And just to refresh your memory, last time I shared with you that this facility is now accessible by public transportation, as well as our ability to do central and drop-off.
Is it downtown?
It is in the industrial park, so it's right around the corner from Tiger Stadium. 24 Stott Avenue is where it's located. And so, again, a very holistic approach. It's a one-stop. The other piece to note is it will not require an individual to have a referral from a doctor. Or from the VA, although the VA is a collaborative partner of ours. They can self-refer or be referred. So
that's nice, because a lot of times they maybe, if there was several areas that they have to go to first, there's a good chance they wouldn't show up.
Right. And that's a good point you raise, actually, and we have talked to many veterans and service members, and we know, for example, in Rally Point, and this is true today with what we're doing at our existing facilities and out in the community, the veteran and service member has one point of contact within our organization. And that one point of contact then coordinates all the services that are needed so that it takes off the table an individual having to make 5 phone calls or 5 different appointments. And of course, that usually means additional transportation, which we know is a challenge.
I mean, most of us know that. I mean, that would just take it would cut the participants or the people that take advantage of this in half. They just wouldn't do it. It's tough to get them to come down to begin with, and if you put barriers up to try to, red tape and all that to get them there, and that's great.
And so our goal is to really make it very accessible and simple to engage with us and to really accomplish what needs to be done to help the individual live their best life. And again, just to remind you, we don't give up on people.
Yeah.
So, come on in, we're going to sit down and we're going to help you translate what you did in the military into the civilian world. We're going to sit down with you individually. We're not, I said before last time I was here, we're not, here's your check sheet, go down the hall.
Yeah.
We're very customized, very specific to the individual's needs.
And it's great that you look at there are so many facets of reentry.
Right.
Sort of say, and it looks like you got them all covered. It's not just one thing coming back into the community. You got the family.
Right.
I mean, there's so many different aspects of reentry.
There is, and we know that an individual, getting that person in a good place, both from employment and mental health, but also looking at that family unit and make sure that the whole family is adjusting and transitioning, if you will. And where there are barriers, we're going to step in and help remove those.
You had mentioned earlier VSOs. For the viewers, for those that don't know what a VSO is, it's Veteran Service Organizations. May it be the American Legion, VFW, DAV.
Right, so I actually was referring to Veteran Service Officer. So they can, for example, in Norwich, they will help veterans access a variety of benefits or resources, for example. But we absolutely collaborate with a lot of the other groups you just mentioned.
I'm so used to it when I hear VSO, the Veteran Service Organization.
Right, absolutely.
I thought I was on the ball there. I thought I had it covered.
You're good.
It was, I was only off a little bit.
It's all good, Chuck.
But why was Norwich facility? Why was it selected for this? Was it geographically, or it was just?
That's a good question. So, of course, we own that facility there. We have the space to build out, but the primary driver is when you look at the population of veterans in the state. We have roughly, you'll hear anywhere from 200,000 to about 210, 213, roughly. Yeah. When you look at that per capita, New London County has the largest percentage per capita.
Yeah.
So the market demands are there. And again, knowing that transportation can be a challenge, the idea is rally point number one, if you will.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you.
Yes.
I mean, is there any future plans for other areas of the state?
Yes, there is. Yeah, this will be the first rally point, and then we have plans to also create a rally point up in the Hartford County area, which would allow us to service easier, if you will, from a proximity standpoint, that Eastern Connecticut side of things, where for example, public transportation doesn't currently go all the way up there. So again, trying to facilitate their access to needed services.
I mean, Norwich is pretty much a hub between Route 2, 395.
Right.
Everything kind of goes out that way. Where does the funding for Rally Point come from? So
the funding is for the services. They are free services. Yeah. The services we provide, those are philanthropy funded. Okay, so that's...
There's that word again.
That is that word again, that's right. So basically it's individuals making donations. Yeah. We have very generous people within the Easterseals capital region in Eastern Connecticut family. Yeah. It includes our generous corporate sponsors making contributions as well, and grants also. On the build out of this rally point, which is a capital campaign, this is where we have, again, we've looked to our corporate community, and I will say at the moment we have a leading sponsor who's around this, and that would be Stanley Black & Decker. We have others who are contributing as well. We are pursuing grant opportunities around the build-out because, again, our corporate community can help us either around the Capitol, but also around the services, right, to make sure that they're funded so that they continue to be free, because for us that's a key element, is these services need to be free to the veterans and service members.
It's so important. I mean, I don't think the corporate community understands how much we appreciate them in a lot of events. May it be Rally Point or other organizations that are out there.
Right.
They come through every time.
We're very, very grateful for our corporate partnerships, without a doubt. It makes all the difference in helping us really accomplish our mission and help the people in need. If I can, I'd like to just kind of make sure the viewers understand the variety of services that we're providing. So I commented a little bit on the layout about areas. I mentioned the VSO to access the benefits, and of course the employment, the mental health, and the peer-to-peer. We also have the Emergency Financial Assistance Program, or initiative, and that remains. And recall, we're already doing this, we're just going to expand it with Rally Point. And the peer-to-peer support groups also, which we talked about, which is very important. Additionally, we offer pro bono legal services, and that is and I have to clarify, that's for civil matters. So if it's criminal, then it would be the public defender's office. But on the civil side of things, we do have pro bono legal services that are available to the veterans and service members that we're working with. Additionally, we have resources for caregivers. Okay, so a spouse is a caregiver in some cases. At other times it might be someone else. And really helping them understand their role and strategies that may be useful, including their need to take care of themselves as well. Because oftentimes there's also children involved, so that caregiver has multiple individuals they're working with or caring for.
And a heavy workload. I mean,
it is a heavy workload, absolutely.
And most of the time it is a family member, spouse.
Right.
I think they kind of get lost in the fray here as far as what they do, and the important role that they play.
That's right, absolutely. And so having caregiver support groups, really again a safe place where people can come. They can talk about no topic is off limits. It's really just a safe place. You're not judged. It's let's get together and explore what we're challenged with. And oftentimes within those groups, the veteran or service members, they're going to find a mentor, a role model, or they're going to see someone who they experienced a similar situation and wow,
they can relate to.
They're on the other side, right? They got there. So role model opportunities also. Absolutely. And then, of course, we mentioned the care coordination piece, which is bringing in our collaborative partners, right? So, for example, I mentioned last time, currently we don't provide housing for homeless veterans, but we do have collaborative partners. So again, if the veteran comes to us and is working with us, we don't give them a phone number and say, oh, when you get home, go call that. We really make a soft guided handoff. And if it means that we have the appointment with that collaborative partner, we help them fill out the paperwork, whatever it takes, we're going to do that together. And then we stay in the process monitoring and really creating a team to address all the barriers and move this person on. I mean, that's once again that's a great approach, because a lot of times if you just said here's a number to call, it's not going to happen. That's right, and we know that.
and it's a great way that you guys are doing this to make sure that they feel comfortable throughout the whole process. Thank you.
Well, that's our intent, and we are truly honored to serve those who have served. And we welcome the most difficult cases. As I said, we don't give up on people, ever. And we are going to get you to the other side. And our message is really, oftentimes, I was talking to a veteran that's in our programs right now in our services, and for us to be able to look at her and say, we're here for you, you're not alone, and we believe in you. It's very powerful for an individual to know that someone is there for them and they're going to walk the journey with them.
Especially if you're sincere about it, because I'm sure they've heard it many times in the past where there wasn't sincerity. And there wasn't follow through. You guys are stepping up and obviously making them feel comfortable right from the get-go.
Well, and they quickly see we say it, but we do it. And our actions are consistent with that.
We were talking about funding and all that. You must do fundraisers.
We do.
Do you have any fundraisers?
Well, we certainly do have some fundraisers.
Scheduled in the near future.
We do. So the signature event that we have is the Crystal Ball.
Yeah.
That'll be on Saturday, March 10th at the Marriott in Hartford. Yeah. And that is going to be really an amazing evening. That is, the overall event supports our whole organization. However, there is a segment and there's an emphasis on our veteran service member and immediate family free life-changing services. So there is a segment of that where those funds will be 100% restricted, if you will, meaning they'll go directly to those services. We're lining up quite a night. Our featured guest speaker is 4-star General Beggart. I don't know if you're familiar, Air Force.
I've heard the name. He's
phenomenal. He will be in attendance and will be sharing his insight. And of course, the Commissioner of Connecticut DVA, Sadi, will also be there, which they're one of our collaborative partners as well, so we're thrilled to have him join us. For those who qualify, he will be giving out the Connecticut War Service Medal, so we welcome individuals to reach out to us if they would like to fill out the paperwork to make that application. Kevin Brown, he's a veteran himself, the CEO of Mohegan Tribe and Mohegan Sun. He will be the MC, which is great. I also, Bob and Jeannie Ledoux from Pratt & Whitney. Yep. Bob is the president. They're our honorary Crystal Ball co-chairs. Don Allen from Stanley Black & Decker will be there as the corporate chair. And then we have Sage Steele, which Sports Center's ESPN. She'll be joining us as well. So, and then of course, there will be a wonderful group, many military personnel, veterans, active duty, spouses, supporters, people from our Easterseals family and community. It is truly an extraordinary evening. So we're really looking forward to that. Yes, absolutely. And it gets very exciting when we get to the Invest in a Vet segment of the evening.
I was just going to ask you that. And once again, just like the first show, time has flown by here. Okay. It's a 25-minute show. There's so much information. We can actually make this a part 3, not a par 3, a part 3. And I was going to ask you about Invest in Veterans, because we've only got like 2.5 minutes left.
All right, I'll say it quickly. So at the ball, of course, there's a paddle raise where people will donate money to these services, life-changing services. But additionally, if viewers go to, or anyone interested, goes to veteransrallypoint.com, you can donate directly to the services. You can donate to the capital campaign around the Veterans Rally Point build-out. You can buy Crystal Ball tickets, and you can learn a lot more about what we're doing, including if you'd like to volunteer for our organization and get involved. We would welcome that.
Now, real fast, I mean, I was going to ask you if there's a website. You just gave that to them. Mm-hmm. If you want to repeat that again in case you...
Certainly. So for Easterseals Capital Region in Eastern Connecticut, there's easterseals.com/Hartford. And then veteransrallypoint.com specifically talks about our life-changing veteran and service member and military family services.
Now, did you tell them how to purchase tickets?
So they can purchase them online at veteransrallypoint.com. They can call us directly and purchase over the phone. So absolutely, we welcome everyone to join us. It's going to be quite an evening.
Well, you know that.
And I might add, bring your dancing shoes. So.
I don't know if I will.
You'll still have a good time.
But yeah, you know, it's. I mean, we had other stuff that we would like to cover. Maybe we can do that in another segment.
Sounds great.
But once again, it was a pleasure having you here, Beth.
Thank you. It's great to be here, Chuck.
You know, we hope the viewers found this information very informative and helpful. You know, there's so many groups out there that do so many good things. and this is one of them that no one really knows about, and that's one of the aspects of this show that we hope gets it out there, and one of the missions of the show, I should say, to get the information out there. But that's about all the time that we have for the show. We hope you found it informative. A special thank you again to you, Beth, for being here for the second time.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure.
My name is Chuck Woodin for the Veterans Corner. Thank you for watching, and good night.